Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you beautiful souls out there. I hope you're able to get out in nature like Starlight is. And this is so funny. I'm out here at this lake. Hang on, let me just and this lake has my son's name on it, and I said, well, I gotta go check out this lake. I think it's really funny when I find either street signs or a place that has my kids' names, or I really haven't seen my name on too many things out in society. So welcome to my YouTube channel, and I'm reaching out to all of you out there. I hope you're getting out in nature like Starlight is, and Starlight is in the middle of so many things right now, just getting things done that I need to get done today. And anyway, I just wanted to reach out to all of you and say hello. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, welcome. And you can find me on YouTube, and that is at Starlight, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman. Plus, you could give this video a thumbs up, and you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave me a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Swing by and say hi to Starlight. And sorry, my hair is having a funky thing going on. So besides saying hi, is also don't forget you could share my videos. And you could share my videos with your family, your friends. Ooh, I see a bear. And some ducks. Yes, you could share my videos with a bear. Why not? They want to be entertained like you. So, and some ducks. Quack, quack. And anyway, besides sharing my videos, is you can also check out my playlist, and you could follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K Dingman Starlight. So here we go. I'm going to start from this end of the park all the way down at the end. And Starlight is a nut, really. When I go out to parks, I love seeing stuff like this, you know, because it's all numbers. This big old circle with the X in here, and it's like a pizza, you know. I don't know how many pieces we have here. It's a 6, so it's a small size pizza. So anyway, Starlight's being silly, but no, I really do love checking out parks and how, you know, there's a lot of numbers everywhere that we go. And anyway, so today I really want to reach out to you. Look at it, I got some friends out here. Aw, you guys are my best friends. Not really, but that is part of this video, is who's your best friend anyway, you know? I know a lot of kids, they grow up when they start out, you know, is they might come home and they start learning about, you know, friends when they're little, and then they might come home and the mom or daddy or both might say, hey, did you make any friends at school? You know, like in my grandson, my one grandson is 5 years old, so he's learning about kids, you know, he's at that age, going to school and getting around other little kids. And so a lot of times, you know, when little kids start out, they think everyone in their class is their friend. They don't really know what a friend is. And even though my grandson's 5 years old, there's adults that are the same way as little kids that are 5. Oh no. But we're all children, you know, no matter who you are, no matter how smart you think you are, is that we're all children still. You know, we have so much to grow up from, you know, and you know, so that is the way life is. No matter how what your age is, you know, you could be 90 something years old and you still got something to learn. There's still things to learn, you know, and everybody is different on this journey as far as what we have to learn and journey here in life. So who is your best friend? You know, some of you might say, my mom's my best friend. Or, you know, you might even say your kids are your best friends, you know, because you really know them, because, you know, you brought them up. And And then some of you, you might have best friends in school. You might have somebody like your sister or your brother could be like somebody that you consider your best friend. Somebody that you grew up with could be like a best friend. Anyone could be like your best friend. But who is your best friend? And I have to say, I don't have any best friends. What, Starlight? No. There's nobody out there that I consider my best friend out there in the world, but because I am my best friend. Now, I could have a great friend out there, or only one friend out there, but that's all I really need out there is just one great friend. So, but I am my greatest friend, and you really need to learn to be your greatest friend. And I have learned on this journey of life is, I know family members or even people in the past that would say, this is my best friend, while they're growing up, and saying, she's my best friend. And that really brings up a lot of problems, especially if you have maybe 5 friends, but then you say, this is my best friend. So it really can stir up a lot of problems with your other friends, because then they're going to be like jealous, saying, but what about me? How come I'm not your best friend? So, and you really need to be your best friend, because you're going to go through a lot of tests in life, and you could have people in your life right now that, where you're having challenges with them, and you got to really be your best friend, because, like I've put in other videos, it takes time. It takes a long time to just have one good friend. Not that they're going to be your best friend, but just to have a friend that you can trust, and that you know that they're not going to talk behind your back or anything like that. So it's very hard to just find one person. And I know, like on my Facebook, if you check out, I don't even really go on Facebook, because Starlight is too busy working on herself and doing other things. That the way Facebook is, it is a joke, because it's like, I might have, I don't keep track, I don't even pay attention to numbers. A lot of people do that. They're, they want to see, ooh, how many views do you got? Ooh, how many friends do you got? Ooh, how many subscribers? Well, all that shit don't matter, really, when it comes down to it. That really doesn't matter. It's really about what you're putting out in the world is what matters. What kind of information are you putting out on, like, Facebook? Is it gossiping and drama? Is it stuff where, and I've seen this a lot on my Facebook when they're whoopsie is on Facebook, where there's once in a while is I'll go on my Facebook, because I don't have it on my phone. I have to go to a library to do this. And I could be on Facebook 3 years ago and go back on the Facebook and check out people that I actually met in real time. Might have even spent time with them in the past. Might have went to the same church with them. I might have actually, some of the people on my Facebook, I might have actually sat down and had some wine with them. I might have sat down and listened to some oldie music and smoked marijuana and drank alcohol with them, had a lot of laughs, and I have to say, after 3 years of not being on Facebook really at all, comparing to what I was, and I go back on the Facebook just a few days ago, and I'm like, wow, it's the same stuff that was being put out before, and there's sometimes it's really beautiful things that people are putting out in their Facebook, and other things, it's all about that person, it's not actually helping anybody else. It's so it is pretty sad when you might think that you have friends and then, you might reach out to them, but they're too busy with things that really don't matter. Some people are too busy working on the outward appearance and not really working on the inside of themselves. They're all about, getting people to notice about their outwardness. So you got to really be careful about that in life. It's not about the outside. It's about what's going on in the inside of your heart. What kind of a person are you? Is it all about you? So you got to really be mindful is to be your own friend, because I'll tell you what, when everybody decides, to leave, like when COVID happened, there's going to be people that are going to hey, we're great friends. And then when COVID comes, boom, gone. Where did you go? Where did everybody go? Holy shit. When I had my business, my cleaning business, man, I thought a lot of my clients were like family to me. I used to dog sit some of them. I used to spend a week at their house dog sitting. I felt like family. I felt loved. I felt cared for. I felt like I had a good connection. When COVID came, boom, gone. They did come back. They did want me back later on. But when I told them that I was going to do something else with a business, and do what God wanted me to do, where the heck did they go? I thought maybe we could be friends. No, we weren't going to. No, it was all about business. That's all it was. It was all about business. So you're going to find yourself alone in life sometime, and that's why you want to be your best friend, is because people are going to leave you. Things are going to change. People are going to grow. Sometimes you might be working on yourself where they're still, and that's what it is. I know some people, they're the way they were a long time ago, they're still stuck in that time. They're still stuck at that time of partying and still smoking marijuana, or going to places that Starlight doesn't want to go in those places, and it might not be bad for them, but it's not where I need to be, So Starlight is, there's could be people that still go to church today, Well, Starlight doesn't want to go to church, and I don't have to go to church. So you have to really be your best friend, because things do change. People do grow. Even when your family, when you were a little kid, the family could have been, no matter how many problems you had as a family, but you were together. And then when you get out of the house and you have kids on your own, the families they divide, they get separated, they move, they end up having little kids, they end up, moving far away from the nest, just like animals go through that. And so that's why it's so important to be your best friend, because even the people that you think are going to be there forever, like Starlight, I lost my brother a while back, and I never saw that coming. Never saw it coming. Didn't believe it, didn't think anything was going to happen, and bam, gone, and so it is sad when you do lose loved ones that you were so freaking close to, and sometimes, and that's why you need to be your best friend, is because those people that you thought was going to be there for the rest of your life, and then they're gone. Who are you going to go to? Maybe that was your go-to person to talk to and communicate. Maybe that was the person that only understood you or tried to understand you. Maybe that was the only person that would listen to you and let you speak and let you be yourself. So it is so important that you are your best friend, because you're going to even have times that, you and your friend are going to have problems with communications, or different things that are going to happen in your lifetime. And so, you can't really count on anybody when it comes to relationships or friends or anything like that, because that is life, and that is why you want to be your best friend, because when everybody abandons you and leaves you behind for whatever reason, you have yourself. You don't have to feel so lost when everybody's not around anymore. And so being your best friend is really what you need, is to get to love yourself, get to accept yourself, get to love yourself no matter what anybody thinks or says, love your flaws, get to, not that you got to love them and keep those flaws, but it's something that you can work on and deal with, and to clear that out of your life and love yourself and forgive yourself. But you don't want to call other people your best friend, because there's things that can go on in those kind of relationships where if they and there's people that do a lot of horrible stuff. I've witnessed a lot. I know you guys have too, is where there could be two guys that are really super friends, and the one guy could have a girlfriend, and where they always hang out together, and before you know it, you don't even know that your friend, your best friend, you've been friends for life, before you know it, now he's going with your girlfriend, and you're like, what? You didn't even see that coming, and those things really do happen where, should you get mad at your friend? Well, wasn't there two people involved, so it wasn't just your friend, it was his girlfriend too, it takes two to tango, so you got to be careful who you call a friend, because your friend could be being fake with you, trying to get closer to your girlfriend, and you wouldn't even see it, you're like, oh my friend would never do that, and they could treat you really good, and everything could look so sweet, and look like everything's going good, and it might be just because they're trying to win the heart of your girlfriend that you're going out with or whatever. So you could have people that you call your friends, and where you trust them, and be careful who you trust, because you trust them and they know it, and they could take advantage of you, and so you really got to be careful. Even if you're a friend, somebody that you believe is a friend will talk good about you just because they go around and tell everybody how great you are. Be careful of that too, because sometimes people do that. They will talk really good about you, building up the trust in you, just for later on to, it could be all fake. They could be wearing a mask the whole time and you never even saw it, so you do have to be careful. This is the end. I feel like that song. This is the end. So yeah, you should be your best friend. Get alone with yourself. Starlight's always alone. I am my best friend. Even if, I have a really super duper friend out there, and I actually say he's my only friend, because really that is the truth. He is my only friend right now. Later on, who knows, but it does take time. Friendship doesn't happen right away, and I've heard a lot of people, they want to be your friend right away. It's like, wait a minute, I don't even know you, and this happens with guys and girls, people want to speed things up, and that is a big, huge problem in the world today as far as relationship goes. People are in too much of a rush to hurry up, and get things moving too quick, where before you know it, they're hanging out, having fun, and that stuff does happen really quick. You sit next to somebody and vibrations go on, your vibes and all that stuff, and it goes from strangers to really good friends that they think, and then before you know it, they're in a relationship, and things are going really super fast, and then it doesn't last long, and then it's like, then you really find out who they really are, and it's really painful. It is painful. Now you gave yourself over to what? Somebody that, was too much in a rush to hurry up, get what they wanted, and they got what they wanted, and they're gone. So that's why it's so, good for you to be by yourself. Spend plenty enough time, as much time as possible. I do know somebody right now, and I didn't know this, but they're afraid to go anywhere without somebody with them. They can't go to a store without having their dog with them. They can't drive in a car unless they got to have somebody with them all the time. That is not a healthy behavior, you don't want to, that's a very, very bad way of living a life, you know, because you gotta spend time alone with yourself. You gotta have balance. Also is to be around other people, call up your family or whatever. Like with me, I call up my family and talk to them. You know, you don't actually have to be right with them physically, but you gotta, you know, at least to have balance in your life. This is so cute. I've never seen, I gotta get this on here. It's on the tree. So yeah, you have to be your best friend and find out who you are. That's how you're gonna find out who you are, and that will help you out to find out the right kind of girl or guy that you want to go out with later on. But you don't want to go out there searching outside of you. You want to really focus on inside of you, and that is gonna be how you're gonna find the one for you. Is when you do that inner work, God will bring that one to you. You know, when you start working on yourself, you'd be amazed how God will bring the one to you, you know, when you are ready. And with God is, or the universe, it doesn't happen quick. You know, things don't happen really fast, and it is really tough. It does take patience. It takes, can I say that again? Yes, it takes patience. It takes a lot of patience, you know, when you do it in a spiritual way, searching for that one. But you got to find out who you are. You got to be your best friend and spend a lot of time with yourself and love yourself, forgive yourself, you know, love yourself as who you are unapologetically, you know. And that is my message for today, is really be your best friend, because you're gonna find out. I'm telling you, you wait, you're gonna find out later on. It takes time to figure this out, you know. Be real with yourself. Be honest with the ones that you have in your circle. Are they really your friends, or are you just pretending that you got a lot of friends? Don't try to impress other people and say, I have a lot of friends, you know. Hey, I'm somebody because I have a lot of friends. I know it's not popular, you know, to say I only have one friend, but I'll tell you what, by saying you have lots of friends is not good, you know, because you're going to find out those people that you think are your friends, you're going to find out in time if they really were your real, you know, a real friend or not. You know, it takes time, you know, and if you're only seeing somebody once in a while, yeah, it is really, you know, you can't say that we're really friends, because it takes a long time. It takes hours, you know, to get to know someone, you know, in days and weeks and years to really get to know that person on a deeper level. So anyway, I love you so much. And if you do have a great friend out there, anyone out there, and you know, you've been through thick and thin, is let them know how much you appreciate them, and let them know that you love them as a friend and that you're there for them. And anyway, I love you so much. This is Starlight. I got these animal friends here. They're having their own little beef out here. Guess they're like jealous because they probably have somebody else as a friend. So anyway, I love you. You can give this video a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Plus, don't forget, you can leave a message down below. Beep, beep, beep. And you can follow me on Instagram at 1995 Starlight, or on Facebook, and that is Kathy with a K, Dingman Starlight. I love you all. So really, if you got a really super good friend, let them know that, hey, I love you and thank you for being such a great friend, but you should be your best friend. So I love you so much. This is Starlight. Namaste. This is Starlight, love, light, and peace.